What's up? Welcome back to another video. My name is Rich, and in this video right here, I'm just gonna give you guys a few tips on using heat transfer vinyl. So there's a few things that you can and cannot do, and there's a few things that you can do to make things easier. So for one, try to avoid intricate designs and designs that have more so of the grunge texture. So something like this is gonna be hard to weed, and something like this is gonna be very easy to weed. This one right here is gonna be hard to weed because it's gonna have so many areas that you're gonna have to pluck off. Here's an example. Okay, so like I said, you don't wanna deal with this intricate design or stuff that has a whole lot of grunge texture because it's gonna be very hard to weed. Might be hard to see on the vinyl itself, so we can put the photo next to it. But let's go ahead and try and weed it so I can show it to you all. Now, as you can see, it might be kind of difficult to see. There's a whole bunch of little dots. It's gonna be very hard to pick all of that off. So there is a workaround, but I don't suggest it. You can like cut a piece of the sticky part off and just go like that. And that'll get some of the little dots off and give you that grunge texture. But that's a really pain in the butt and it's very time consuming, so I do not recommend doing that. So the second tip would be to have a bottle of vinyl letter removing. It's a solvent. Most of your local stores should have this. It's just, I don't know what it's made out of. Let's see. Some kind of chloride. So what this is gonna do, let's say you weed some vinyl and all of a sudden you leave a piece off. Well, you know what, here's an example. All right, so here's your next tip with the solvent. So sometimes when you weed vinyl, there's leftovers everywhere, and sometimes a piece may get stuck to it and you kind of miss it because you're moving so fast. Once you press onto a shirt, we might have a little mistake on the shirt because we didn't notice it. So now it's on the shirt. And this could also happen if you happen to leave like a piece inside of the R or something. So now what we would do, but I just realized I'm completely out. What you would do is put the solvent right on top of the vinyl where you messed up and you need to take it off, and it will come right off. So it's very good for that. And for like the small little corners and stuff, you can put on a little Q-tip and use a Q-tip to rub those little areas. Okay, so the third thing would be to have your heat transfer be warmed up before you start weeding it. After the vinyl is done being cut from your vinyl cutter, you want to place the vinyl on a warm surface such as the bottom part of the heat press. You can warm it up a little bit and then start weeding. So here's another example right here. Okay, so like I said, it's easier to weed the vinyl whenever this is warmed up, if you lay it on top of a warmed up surface instead of it being cold. So if you have your heat press already turned on and heated up, you can go ahead and press it down, pull it back up, and then now this will be nice and warm for you. So what you do is put the vinyl back on, and now what I like to do is just brush it over, and it'll be even easier to weed. It'll come off a lot easier than it would if it was cold. So if it's nice and warm, then it's easier. So I don't know why I recorded this video in this format going back and forth. I should have just did it all while showing you. But anyways, here's tip number 4. Avoid small lettering. You can experiment with this to see how small you can get it. Depending on your vinyl cutter and how accurate it is, it's going to vary per vinyl cutter. But if it's very small, it's gonna get hard to weed, especially if the letters are very thin. So make sure you try to avoid thin fonts for small designs because it's gonna be hard to weed, and depending on the accuracy of your vinyl cutter as well, it could come off while you are weeding it because it is so skinny, it is easy to peel off, or it can accidentally come off, and it doesn't have enough body to stick onto the sticky portion of the heat transfer vinyl. Whatever the sticky portion is called, I'll show you an example right here. All right, so now, like I said, you don't want to deal with small text. As you can see, I cut out some small text so I can show you how difficult it can be to weed, or the problems that we can have. And right here we have some small text as well, but it's a little bit larger than this top one. So what I'm gonna do is just peel all of it straight through, and I'll show you what can possibly happen. Okay, so I peeled it all off. As you can see, everything is still stuck to the backing, the sticky backing. And if you look up here, this is what happens. So some of the letters lifted up, some of the letters are crooked, like the E, the A is gone, because there's not enough body of the text for it to stay on the sticky part of this vinyl. What is this called? Anyway, somebody tell me. I just call it the sticky backing. Another difficult thing about small text is if you wanted to get the small parts of the letters, it'll be kind of harder to do. You can use the ice pick type of weeding thing. This is a bonus tip. I like to use these tweezers right here. These tweezers work very well. So also it'll be a lot easier to get this larger A than it would this smaller A. But like I said, it's gonna be difficult to deal with the small text because it doesn't have enough body to stick, and it's also going to be hard to lift the cavities. The cavities is the little inner parts of the letters. So it'll be more difficult to get that than a larger size one here. So, and for the fifth tip, oh man, I don't even know how to explain this one. Go back to the standing up walking version of me. All right, so here's your fifth tip. It's a very simple tip. So say if you're doing the same design on multiple shirts and you already weeded it all out and you have it set to the side for it to be ready to be pressed on the shirt. Don't lay all of the vinyls directly on top of each other like that, because then it's going to be difficult for you to peel the next one over. Like right here, I have to sit here and try to pull the two apart. Instead, what you can do is take that one and put this one just like halfway down. So what that's going to do, let's put this third one down as well. So every time you work on a new shirt, you can just peel it right here. Boom. Another one. Boom. A lot easier than if you laid it directly on top of each other. Then you'd have to sit there and try to play with it to get it back off. All right, so those are 5 quick and easy tips that hopefully help you work a little more efficient with your heat transfer vinyl. And I wish you the most success. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. And a super bonus tip, make sure you have the adult size shirt, not the kid size shirt. See you next time.